Game begin.
Well, hello and welcome to another video. Today I want to talk about my Hakko fr-301. I knew I wanted to get into repairing and reworking of old consoles and old computers. It's always been an interest, but until recently it just hasn't been a practical thing for me to do or to learn. With the joys of YouTube and the fact that there are some really excellent tutorials on repairing these things, why not? I thought I'd have a go at it. So anyway, I knew I would need a desoldering tool, and I had looked at a lot of the cheaper Chinese ones, and I thought I would really like a Hakko, a Japanese tool, if I can afford one. In the UK you're looking at £400 to £500 for this. This is from Japan, so unfortunately it had to be slightly modified to work correctly in the UK. Let me open it and I'll show you what I mean. Comes in a nice box. The only thing I don't like about it is the stand. It's very basic. Let me show you. You've probably seen this anyway, but just in case you haven't and you're thinking about a desoldering tool, that's how you leave that when it's on. Makes sense, it has to sit somewhere. This is going to be constantly being heated. But anyway, back to the tool in question. Japan runs on 100 volts, the UK runs on 230 volts, there or thereabouts, and the US runs on 110. Again, probably 10% either way in all those numbers. But this is a 100 volt one, 100 volts, 98 watts. So I could have just ran it on a step down converter at 110 volts and probably got away with it. But I thought I'll do a bit of research and see if there's a way of modifying this so it's a legit US tool at running at 110 volts. And lo and behold, there is. Thankfully, there's people a lot smarter than me on YouTube and on the internet, and they've come up with the solution. There's four Phillips screws holding this together. You need to, I'll show you very briefly, but I'm not going to take it all apart. It's not a hard thing to take apart, but I will give you a couple of words of advice should you decide to get one of these. This little pipe, air pipe coming around here, this little bung that's holding the air pipe open fell out when I was taking this apart, and for the life of me I couldn't figure out what this was for. But it's to prevent a kink in this tubing, and there will be a kink without it, which will restrict airflow and at very least damage the pump. But anyway, once you have the wee back off, you can take the container out that holds the solder that's been sucked. These two screws are Phillips, these two screws in the front are Phillips, and these four screws are all Phillips. Take them apart, this entire half of the clamshell comes off, and all you need to do from then is take a retainer for the power lead down here. Take two more Phillips screws out of that. Take the motor and the circuit board, which is held in with two more Phillips screws, out. Flip it over and you'll see this. This is a 10 ohm 2 watt resistor. And what we need to do is replace that with two of these, two 300 ohm 2-watt resistors. So basically we're going from a 10 ohm resistance to 600 ohm resistance, which lowers the voltage getting to the motor sufficiently, where it just lowers the speed the motor runs at and brings it more in line with the US and the UK version of the tool. Very simple job to do. Once you get your head around things, just keep all your parts separate and keep them close by. One word of warning: this little yellow button on this side under the clamshell, there's a spring. I managed to lose the spring the first time I opened it. It's went into L space. God knows where the spring is. It'll never be found again. A couple of years time, when I don't need it, it'll be found. But I had a solution, thankfully, which was a clicky pen, a ballpoint pen. Take the spring out of it, cut it in half, fitted perfectly over the other side of that yellow button, and as you can see, works perfectly. The spring is just to allow this to click back out and stay open so you can put it back together. The nice thing about the Hakko is it's very easy to take apart. The only thing I'm not a big fan of it about are the price of the tips and the temperature control, which is just a dial. You know, it's just a simple dial. So it's going to be a bit of trial and error to find which number 1 to 4 to set it at. Probably set it at 2 to see how we get on. But I'm going to plug it in here. This is after it's been modified. Strange wee Japanese plug that I'm certainly not used to, being from the UK. It's the first time I've seen one. First of all, you got to turn it on like an idiot. That's the noise it now makes. With the correct resistance. Anyway, you're going to see this in future videos. I have a lot of electronic PCBs that need work. This tool, I'm hoping, is going to be a good tool for my arsenal. And hopefully it'll get regular use. You will see a video here of before and after. I do have some really crap footage that I shot before I took this apart and replaced those resistors. And you will hear the speed difference. Anyway, thank you for your time and patience. Hopefully these videos get a little better with time, and hopefully they're of some use to somebody. If anyone wants to see any more detail on any of this stuff, just leave me a comment in the comments box and I'll see what I can do. See you again.